This conference will now be recorded.
Thank you,
Hello,
Michael.
everyone. Thank you for attending the Loudoun Workforce Resource Center's special Jumpstart Your Career in Construction. I am pleased today to work with our good friends at HCCA in putting this event together. Just as a quick reminder for everybody on the call, just keep your mic muted, please, just to ensure quality experience, and that this session will be recorded. So for those who don't know me, my name is Mike Bozef. I'm the Employer Services Coordinator at Loudoun Workforce Resource Center. Show of hands, who's heard of the Loudoun Workforce Resource Center before? Very good. Well, for those of you folks who've never heard of us, essentially what we do, our mission statement is to connect employers and job seekers. And by connecting with employers today, employers having careers, I am pleased to introduce Ashley Hutson from HCCA, who's going to talk a little bit about the careers in construction. Afterwards, Ashley's going to introduce our employer guest panelists today. And when we're all said and done, we will open it up for questions. So at that point in time, you can unmute your mic or feel free to drop the questions in the chat box as we go along. So without any further ado, Ashley, thank you for today, and I give the floor to you.
Thank you, Michael. And can you also give me screen sharing abilities?
Sure.
Thank you, thank you. Hello, everyone. As Michael said, my name is Ashley Hutson. I am with the Heavy Construction Contractors Association. We are a group representing 170 companies involved in road building and site development in Northern Virginia. And we represent about 39,000 people in Northern Virginia right now, but could hire up to 10% more. So there's a huge need for construction workers in Northern Virginia. And we're hoping that you see today's presentation and find some opportunities for yourself or for your loved ones to go to work. You may be wondering why a young woman is talking to you about construction today. I will tell you all that I grew up in a construction family. My dad and brother both work in the field, and I started working with a highway company immediately after college as well. I love construction work. I love seeing the finished product and knowing that we have had a positive impact on society. You know, made an area safer, made an area more functional. You know, help people's commute times get reduced. So there's a lot of rewarding things about construction, but I'll leave some of that also for our employers to share. So just to talk about how to work in construction, this is 8 skills for success. I've also seen this described as 8 skills that require 0 talent, but these 8 skills are going to be needed to work in a blue collar field. So being on time in construction means being on time early. You know, that might mean 6 a.m. on a job site. And the thing about construction jobs is it's not like an office job that you can roll up and sit at your desk 15 minutes late. You know, showing up at a construction site means you're going to start with a safety meeting, and then the crews are going to split up. They could be a mile apart from each other. And if you miss your morning instructions, then, you know, you're just going to be setting off the day for a less productive start. Attitude, like I said, this is crew work. So you're going to be working around people of different backgrounds, different levels of experience. And it's important to be flexible and understanding while you working in a team setting. Putting forth effort, which means giving 100% of the time. I mean, this can be tough work outside in the elements, but it's rewarding work, like I said, and as long as you're putting forth the effort, you're going to see the gain from it. Body language, you know, we all know what this means. If you show up and you're talking to your supervisor and you look mad like this, it's going to be a lot harder to work with you and coach you through the day's work. So and while you're on a team, you know, you want to be open and willing to work with other people. Energy kind of goes into body language as well. These are long working days, so you want to make sure you're resting up and you're showing up prepared. Bringing me to the next one. That means that you, like I said, you're well rested. You brought your lunch with you if you need to do that. You have your personal protective equipment with you each and every day. And showing up on time is all being prepared. Being coachable is also extremely important in construction. A lot of the times you'll see people join this field without necessarily prior experience or prior education leading you into it. And so it really goes up to your supervisors to teach you what it is you need to do and how to do it the right way. You know, you might not always have the most formal trainer to teach you how to move one pile of dirt to another place, but these are your coaches. These are the people that are going to teach you how to get this job done. And it's important to show that respect to your supervisors that have been doing this type of work for years and years. And then doing extra is just always asking, how can I help? You know, it's not just leaving the job at 2:30 because, you know, you can. It's staying there until the job is done and helping out in any way that you can. So 8 skills for success, 8 skills that don't necessarily require background knowledge or certifications, but all things that will definitely help you in the construction field. Another positive thing about the career paths in construction is that it's very distinct way up. You know, you start as a laborer or a helper, which is, you'll find in the companies that you'll hear from today might be called something different depending on what company you work for, but are making around $14 to $15 an hour with benefits, with overtime. And then as you learn what you're doing and as you learn the functionality of a job site, then you can become a heavy equipment operator making between $17 and $27 an hour. Once you've mastered that craft and you want to take on supervisory positions, then you can become a foreman and a crew leader and run your whole crew. Then run your whole site, then run all the sites. So it's a very distinct career path here of how to grow within the industry, and you can do it while you're working your job. You know, you can learn each and every day how to excel, how to grow in your company and move up with a very distinct career path. One of the challenges, I think, of promoting construction careers to the greater community is the language around these positions. Not everybody finds a job title laborer to be an appealing and sexy position, you know, to bring to the table to talk about. However, like we said, this is extremely rewarding work and it is room to excel. So another tricky part of it is saying equipment operator can mean a vast amount of different pieces of equipment, depending on what kind of company you work for. If you look up here, this is kind of the different aspects of the companies we represent, whether they're general contractors, utility work, quarries, road builders. And there's just a lot of different types of equipment that you can learn and master. And, you know, a lot of people end up working multiple types of equipment to help their jobs and crews run smoother. So there's a lot of opportunity for a lot of different positions and a lot of things to learn. There is kind of the point of this diagram. And if there's any questions, definitely feel free to throw them in the chat box as we go along. I know I'm kind of moving through this a little quickly. So like I said, you can walk up to a job site without necessarily skills or background knowledge and interview and get hired, but there's also the heavy equipment operator training course, which is offered now at 8 different community colleges through Virginia. Our contractors value this course because it shows our contractors that the person that graduated this course cares about this field, and they have taken this initiative to learn the basics of construction and equipment operation. And a positive of it is it's taught safely on simulators rather than risking people's safety and assets by training on site. So this started at Lord Fairfax Community College in 2017, has now spread to all of these different community colleges throughout the state to meet this huge need for construction workers in Virginia. Another great opportunity is to use the fast forward funding from the state to apply for this course, can reduce the cost to a student to only $100. So it's an 88-hour course, which you can either do on Saturday and Sundays for 8 weeks or Monday and Wednesday evenings for 12. And afterwards, HCCA brings companies in to interview and hire the graduates of this program. We've seen great success in hiring people of all different ages and high school students as well through this program. So that is another opportunity to train to get into this field as well. Like I said, a heavy equipment operator can mean a lot of different things. I like this cartoon because it just shows, you know, some of the common pieces of equipment that you see on the side of the road but might not know what they're called. So that's, you know, just another visual of all the different opportunities there. And women work in construction too. This is really important to note because I think women stray away from this field thinking that it's not for them. But it's funny when you talk to hiring or to recruiter and human resources type roles, they'll tell you that women are extremely detail oriented and that helps them succeed in these types of positions. you know, if you're running a piece of equipment and you need to get it on a very close line or angle, a woman's eye is good for that kind of thing. So this photo here, we have Julie Krottendorfer, who used to work for Branch Civil. She's now moved on to another company, I'm being told, but started out on a smooth drum roller. Well, let me back up. She started out as a CDL driver, not for a construction company. She started working for Branch, driving their water truck. And then she got on the roller, moved up to a bigger piece of equipment, the rubber tire loader, then to a mini excavator, you know, onto the bigger excavators after that. And then in 2019, she became her foreman. So, so that just shows you that that distinct career path is there. It's there for women as well. And it's moving up from littler pieces of equipment to bigger pieces of equipment until you're running your whole crew. So that's a live example of someone that's done that. Further, women can succeed in construction. Here you see several managers and presidents of companies, of construction firms, and also VDOT that recently sat on a panel for HCCA to talk about leadership and their experience working in construction and their successes working in construction. So just to show that women are in all levels of this field and are opening the opportunity for women to join still. So to wrap up, HCCA, like I said, 170 companies in Northern Virginia. Many of our firms list their open jobs with us on our website, hcca.net, and you click services and then click job opportunities. So definitely take a look at that after we wrap up here. But you are about to hear from several of the companies that are listed on that page. Here is their contact info. Today we're going to hear from Christina Velez from Wagman Heavy Civil, Sue Strassner from Luckstone, and Martha Pauley from Superior Paving. So with that, I will wrap up and turn the floor over to Christina. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for allowing the opportunity to speak on the panel, as well as a thank you to everyone who's joining and listening in. As Ashley mentioned, my name is Christina Velez. I'm currently an HR recruiter with Wagman, and I cover mostly our field needs. I joined the team September of last year, and while it's not my first construction company, I am definitely eager to make it my last. It has been truly an amazing experience from the very beginning. Wagman is primarily a heavy civil construction company. They were founded in 1902, and we are family-owned and family-run fourth generation. This aspect of the company is something that is experienced across the board, from the office positions to the field, and speaks a lot to our company culture. Over the years, as the company has grown and evolved, the structure has also evolved and changed to incorporate different departments. We now have Wagman Inc., which Wagman Heavy Civil falls under, and our heavy civil projects include a lot of bridge building and repairs, highway and roadway work, as well as underground pipe work. After absorbing other companies, Wagman now has a geotechnical department as well, and this department covers a lot of bridge foundation projects, temporary shoring, drill rig operations, grouting, pile, post and panel. So that would include kind of the sound walls you see on the highways. As far as education goes, I actually touched on this a little bit, but coming into a career in construction, you don't need formal education coming into the field at least. You will see high school diploma often listed on job descriptions, including ours. While it's definitely encouraged to pursue education, it's not something that's a requirement for an entry-level field position. A general laborer, for example, could come in fairly green and be trained into a trade in the field. I think what's more important coming into construction is a genuine interest and desire to be in the construction field, having the right attitude stepping onto site or even in the office, attendance for sure, and teamwork ability, being able to take and apply the instructions that are given to you on a daily basis. It is a very hands-on world. People are constantly interacting and exchanging ideas, doing the work hands-on in the field, of course. For an entry-level field position, if somebody is willing to show up, work hard, and learn, they can definitely build a successful career. Someone who is a skilled tradesperson, or what we call a journeyman, is someone who already has the experience and has worked their way up through the field to master a trade, or has attended a training school or a trade school where they work to learn that trade as well and then apply it in the field. Some trades like crane operators do require certification. For example, NCCCO certification, or other trades and companies might require people have NCCR to be considered a journeyman in that trade. So as far as training, Wagman offers on-the-job training, both formal and informal. Depending on the skilled trade, there are plenty of ways for a laborer to grow into a trade and be taught the skills that are needed. Some trades, for example, pipe layers, carpenters, they have more informal training where they are groomed by the field crews, the foremen, the supervisors to learn the trade little by little, take on more responsibility as each day goes on so that they can go from general laborer to skilled laborer to apprentice or carpenter helper, and then eventually be a journeyman. Other trades such as equipment operators, they would be brought into a trainee program that's a more formal situation. That would entail filling out an interest form, letting your supervisor know, and having that approved in order to be a part of that training. Crane operators, again, are also on the formal training list, and there is a huge safety factor there too, so the training can be a longer process. A day in the life when you're first coming on to Wagman, you are part of an orientation that the company provides. You will receive safety training, Wagman culture training, and of course, OSHA 10 and CPR. We provide paid training and bonuses for certain high demand positions. For example, if someone has CDLA and has been a CDL driver in addition to what they do. Many positions do require formal and specific training, such as the ones we talked about before, drivers, crane operators, equipment operators. For career progression, I think across construction as a whole, you have kind of limitless options depending on what route you want to go. People who show up, work hard, and want to learn can have endless possibilities. At Wagman, we have over 40 people with more than 20 years of experience and service with the company. Many of our superintendents and foremen started in the field and worked extremely hard, kept learning, and eventually took on smaller projects and then larger projects, and now they're working on $100 million projects. One of our laborers who started in the company a long time ago progressed to being an operator, then crew leader, foreman, assistant superintendent, PM, and he is now director of field operations, or was more recently. After 40 years, he considered retiring and decided to stay working at Wagman and is now leading our field mentoring and training program. We have several people with over 40 years with the company, and there's 3 currently in the 50+ club. So I think it's definitely a place where people want to stay and grow, and those opportunities are there as long as you have the right attitude. The most rewarding part about construction, which can be tough to answer because there are different aspects, you'll hear a lot of different answers. I think one of the bigger things is the opportunity for growth, and that hard work is rewarded in the construction field. Many will reflect on teamwork, the people they meet on site for sure, that it really is your second family, and just everything culminating into a finished project. You get to see that work at the end. Also knowing the contribution you made to the community. You are a part of the community and something that is happening there. You're changing the space on a daily basis. So that's pretty important too. For Wagman, if people were interested in applying, they would be filling out an online application at wagman.com. And then we go in every day, review those resumes, reach out to do either phone interviews or get more information, and then set up in-person interviews at our project sites. It does vary on the position what the process looks like, depending on if it's a field position or if you're looking at an office position or a higher up position that's listed. If anyone has questions, I'm most definitely happy to answer, but I will turn it over to the next speaker.
Thank you very much, Christina. And now we will turn it over to Sue Strasser from Loudoun.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for showing up today. Just wanted to tell you a little bit more about Loudoun and the positions that we have available and what we're looking for in our new employees. A lot of what Ashley said is her 8 essential skills. I just wanted to add a little bit onto that. We look for individuals who are self-starters, curious, team-oriented, and have really good communication skills. Our positions are, our title is a little different than just construction worker or laborer. All our positions are titled surface miner. Now, what does that mean? Loudoun is a mining company. We manufacture crushed stone. So we have 2 main positions that we hire for, entry level, and they are for heavy equipment operators as well as plant operators. After we do a blast and break up the rock in our quarries, we have very large pieces of heavy equipment, some of them that you saw on Ashley's slide, that transport that rock over to our crushing plant. The most entry-level position that we have is generally a haul truck operator. You do not need any experience. We look for individuals who, on our application, it does say 18. You have to be 18. We ask for either a high school diploma or GED. It is not required. What you would do is fill out our application, and I would call you for a phone screen, and then we would set up an interview at one of our sites. Heavy equipment operators, the path for your career is generally starting out as a haul truck driver and then moving on to the larger pieces of equipment that could be either front end loaders or pit loaders. On the other side, at our crushing plant, we hire individuals to be plant operators. Plant operating is more of a hands-on position. We look for individuals who may be more mechanically inclined, like to work with their hands, maybe some experience working on your car in your driveway or doing home fix-its. Generally do very well with utilizing our tools and picking up plant operating pretty quickly. We call it more of a maintenance position and just making sure our plants are automated and just making sure everything's running properly every day. Once you get hired, we do a pretty extensive orientation and onboarding and training. Your first 4 days with the company, we send you to our corporate office in Richmond, where we do 2 days of new hire orientation. You learn about the company, you learn about our culture, our benefits, and learn more about our history. We've been in business for 98 years. It's family owned and operated. We're the largest family owned producer of crushed stone in the country. We have 28 locations between Virginia and then down into our southeast region of North Carolina, South Carolina, as well as Atlanta. So once you come into our orientation, after you learn about the company, that's when we put you through our safety training. Every new hire needs a mining certification through the Mining Safety and Health Administration, MSHA, opposed to OSHA, which most companies fall under. We are governed by the Mining Safety and Health Administration. The beauty of it is that we can provide you with that mining certification. So on your third day of employment with us, you spend a day with learning about safety. Safety is the #1 priority at Loudoun. We will provide you with all the safety training you need. First day is about 8 hours of safety videos. That sounds a little daunting, but we make them interactive. We have conversations around them and what you've learned. And safety training could be anything from CPR, hazard training, slips and falls, chemicals, electrical safety, anything on-site safety training, heavy equipment safety training, anything you could think of. And we spend a lot of time going over that. Our fourth day of orientation is the fun time. That's when you actually get some hands-on training. We teach you how to do a pre-inspection of all of our equipment, whether that's heavy equipment or our stationary crushing equipment. That's when you're going to put your hard hat on that we give you and really get down and dirty. You're going to learn how to start a haul truck, how to back it up, move it forward, stage it properly. You're going to learn about our crushing equipment, how to identify a crusher from a shaker, from a conveyor belt. We're going to familiarize you with what you will see on the site every day. Then when you finish that 4 days of training, you report to the site and your foreman will just show you around so you know where things are, what things do. You'll partner with somebody, whether it's another heavy equipment operator who will give you a couple of days of training. You'll sit in the truck with them. You will learn the proper staging techniques hands-on. You will learn how to dump that truck and how to park it, how to refuel it, and follow the maintenance schedules. Same for plant operating. You'll learn how to do pre-shift inspections, learn how to do our maintenance. Hands-on maintenance could be anything from greasing machines to actually grabbing a shovel and straightening up a pile of product. So we just really look for individuals who want to grow. Our growth path you can move into various different areas of surface mining. If you're working in the plant, you can become a welder. You can move into getting trained to be, we have an apprentice program for electricians. You may just enjoy being a plant operator, move up from surface miner 1, 2, 3, and into a lead person. Heavy equipment, you generally move on from haul truck to a yard loader, which is you're loading the rock into our customers' trucks, or our Big Daddy pit loader, which is a very huge piece of mining equipment that moves the rock around our quarry. Or maybe you're interested in explosives and you can learn how to be a blaster. We look for individuals who are curious, once you master something, we will be happy to train you on other things. Just ask your foreman. But I really recommend learning and becoming an expert at your position before moving on to something else. Plenty of opportunities to grow. It's just I always tell people, growth is up to you as an individual. And as long as you are punctual, curious, self-starting, good communicator, safety awareness, huge. Have a safety awareness and good safety practices, you'll be very successful working at Luckstone. And I think that's about it.
Thank you very much, Sue. And now we will turn it over to Martha Pauley at Superior Paving.
Good morning, everyone. Can I share something, Mike? There you go. Oh, look. You all see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Can you see the video?
That we do not.
Hold on just a second. Oh, there it was.
We can see it, but we can't hear it. Still the same.
That is a great visual, no less.
Stick with the visual for now. Okay, I apologize. I thought that was going to work. Maybe it will next time. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay. Let me give you back the screen and then maybe take it back from me, Michael. I don't know how this thing works.
I got you. Don't worry. Let me see here.
I still wanted to try the other video, but let me just go ahead and start.
Yeah, you're fine. Here we go.
And really what I wanted to give you an idea was about our culture here at Superior. So Superior was founded in 1976. It's a family-owned company. It's owned by 3 families. We're headquartered in Northern Virginia, Gainesville specifically. We do 2 things. We manufacture asphalt, which means we make the asphalt. We have 10 asphalt plants, all located in Northern Virginia. We go as far northwest as Leesburg, Chantilly. We start to go down Centerville, Manassas, Warrenton, Culpeper, Bealton, Spotsylvania, and we have 2 plants in Fredericksburg. We also lay down, which means we put the asphalt on the ground. So I love it when When you hear it, I know with HCCA, they use it, we dig Virginia. And adding to that, it's not mine, but we also help move Virginia. So I think take a lot of pride in that. But we lay down the asphalt on the ground, and that's roads, highways, parking lots, and residential neighborhoods. At Superior, our mission is not to make the best asphalt, but it's to develop remarkable employees. And that starts at recruiting, at the time you fill out an application, to the day that you retire. Hopefully that you're retiring and not leaving us in between. So it's how we take care of our employees through their journey is what I believe makes this company so special. What does that journey look like? So here's some things to make this journey a little bit probably more visible for you. But first thing is safety is for life. Safety is number one. And that's why when Ashley went over the skill sets that you need, and so did the other two, the detail, the attitude, the showing up on work time, that all contributes to being safe. At the end of the day, we want everyone to go home safely. We're a values-based organization, and we take pride in that. We do the right thing. It may cost a little, it may take a little longer, but our decisions are driven by our values of excellence, partnership, integrity, and commitment. So, we've all said that you don't have to have formalized training or specific training. And one of the things that we want to make sure is you do have the skills to be successful in your job. And we also go out just a little bit more and to make sure that when we hire people that our values are aligned so that you are successful. Is excellence important to that person? If it is, you're probably on the right boat. You're probably on the right bus. Partnership, integrity, and commitment. Again, it has to align. It doesn't have to be in a specific order, but we ask that you bring that to the table. Your journey also includes a robust benefit package. And when I talk about benefit package, because I'm in human resources, I remind people that it's not just your hourly rate. In addition to your hourly rate, what does the company have to offer you? So it's a total comp, right? Every company offers medical, dental, health. In addition to those benefits, what's in it for you as well? So we have like a health savings account where the company contributes up to $2,000. We put it into your health savings account to use towards medical expenses. You do have to do a couple of things, but it's not asking a lot. It's getting a physical and completing a health risk assessment. You get that $1,000 put into your health savings account. You get free life insurance. You can purchase additional at cheaper, but you do get that benefit. Your 401k, you can contribute to your 401k plan, but what we do is even if you decide that you don't want to contribute to your 401k, we put 2% of your salary into that 401k plan. So you are basically a participant in the 401k plan, whether you like it or not. There are some individuals who have thanked our owners when they retired at their 25th or 30th year and said, man, thank you for that 401k plan, because had it not been for that, I wouldn't have had $500,000 in my account. And that was their only source of savings. We do have discretionary bonuses for safety. We have what we call our year-end Christmas bonuses. We have production goals. We had COVID bonuses for crying out last year. So there's ways to get those discretionary bonuses in there. The months of January, February, March, health insurance for the employees and their families are free. So again, that's another benefit. We offer 40-hour weather guarantee. What does that mean? We all know that for those people that work out in the plants and out in the field, their office is the environment, is outside. So they can't control the weather. So if it rains or if it snows, they will be guaranteed not to get paid less than 40 hours during the season, but they have to obviously be available. And then part of your is ongoing training and development. Again, you get safety training, it's all the time. On-the-job training, equipment training. The training and development kind of supports our development in remarkable employees. So like both gals said, I mean, it's wide open. It's what you want to make out of it, is what you're interested in, and kind of following that. Not everybody is a CDL driver, and that's okay. There are some people that we have are skilled laborers who shovel asphalt, and that's okay. What we have to get out of the mindset is like Ashley had mentioned earlier, is it doesn't have the most glamorous title. But let me tell you, being a laborer out in a crew is a very important job. And I think our most successful foremen, plant operators, superintendents, general managers started out as laborers on the ground. So don't shoo-shoo or foo-foo that labor or unskilled, whatever VDOT wants to call it, right? It's still a very, very important position. So construction, nobody has mentioned this, but we have been so fortunate, especially during this COVID thing, is that construction has been deemed necessary. So we have been able to keep our workforce intact and continue to pay our employees and have the work to do it, which is why we're here kind of sharing what we have as far as positioning openings go, because we still need people. We need a lot of people. So right now we're hiring for all positions. We're looking for crew construction workers, skilled and the unskilled. We're looking for equipment operators. We're looking for field and lab techs. We're looking for plant operators and CDL positions. And I just realized I just spoke without taking a breath. So let me back up a little bit and I'll tell you a little bit about the position. For the crew workers, and we're talking out on the job, not the plants, we have skilled and unskilled. And let me see. What was I going to say? So those are available, and when you start out as a crew person, again, I don't want people to think, or those that apply, that I don't have any experience in construction. Let me tell you, if you have experience in customer service or in hospitality or even teaching, whatever it may be, you qualify. You just have to have those soft skills to be successful. Equipment operators, those are a little bit more challenging, but if you don't have the experiences like paver operator or roller operator or screed person, the training is there. It's not like we can put out a job opening for a screed person and we're going to have 60 different applications come in. Reality is there isn't. So most of the times we're going to promote within. If there's an individual that doesn't have that skill set, again, we're willing to train, but the success is going to be driven by that individual and their motivation to succeed. Field and asphalt lab techs, that kind of scares people sometimes because they think they're scientists in the cave mixing up kind of medicine or formulas or potions. But those are the individuals that create and develop the mix for our asphalt that we actually lay down. Neither positions require experience or training. As a matter of fact, we provide those trainings for you because there are certifications that you need to be able to succeed or to be able to go out and do that on your own. Our plant operators, those are the individuals that actually are at the plant, sitting in the tower, loading the trucks and selling the asphalt. And we have a huge demand for that. I can tell you that right now. And I know that, again, we're not going to get 50 applications for plant operators, but what we will tell you is if you have the right mind, the skill set of wanting to succeed, getting to work on time, passing a drug test, showing up to work, we'll consider putting that person in that job. A good example of the plant operators is we hired 3 female applicants. 2 of them were internal recommendations, but they started out as yard people. So they were the laborers at the plant. All 3 female yard people are now plant operators. So it just goes to show your determination. The career path, the career development is there. You just have to show the initiative. You have to have the motivation to do it. And then the other high demand position that we have are CDL drivers. I don't think we can ever have enough of those. In particular, we're looking for service truck and tack truck drivers for that. Those positions are bonus positions. So if you do know of anybody that has a CDL, we just probably need to get the tanker and the hazmat endorsements, but those are bonus positions and those we need. Another story about the CDL positions is we had an individual that we hired as a laborer in our shop. He decided that he wanted more than just sweeping the shop floor, and that's not all he did, but I'm just going to give you an example. And he decided he wanted to pursue his CDL. So he went and talked to his foreman. We paid for him to get his CDL. He is now actually a crew foreman. So he started out as a shop laborer, moved into a lowboy operator, meaning he drove those tractor trailers that move our equipment from job to job, and is now running his own crew. I can't stress it enough. Sometimes just knowing it from the bottom, moving up is the best way to do it. It really is, and it's not shunned upon. When I go out there, I still am learning a lot. Training, I think I've kind of said it over and over again, but the training is available. Like I think with all companies that you've heard from today, the training is there. The training dollars are there. You know, sometimes we can't guess, but we try to make sure that we touch each individual and see if there's a career path or a career development that they would like to focus on, and we kind of assist that. Sometimes it may mean that, you know, if you start out in construction, that construction is not where you want to be, and that's okay. We'll prepare you. We'll prepare you in the meantime. But so training is always available. Let me see what else. So our hiring process. What does our hiring process mean? So all of our jobs are posted on our website, and some of the videos that I was going to share with you, I'm not going to because of the sound. But on most of our positions, there's a little video that's attached to the job that kind of gives you an idea of what that job is like. And the person that is on that video is a person that is actually on that, doing that position. It's not scripted, so hopefully they can give you a life in the day of what a crew foreman is, or a plant operator, or a density, or a lab tech. So you would fill out an application online, and for those that are job seekers in this here today, I ask that if you do fill out an application where it says, how did you hear about this position under other, just make sure that you put Loudoun Workforce Resource on there so that we know. So we review the applications, then we do phone screens. From the phone screens, we'll determine which hiring manager will interview. After that interview, we send people out to actually go see either a job site or the plant, because these positions, again, are very unique. They're outdoors. They're not inside an office where I can control the temperature or I can control the weather. So we want to make sure that you know what it is. We want to make sure that you understand that it could be hot, that it can be cold, that you're going to work nights, that you could work days, that you can work weekends, and you could work, oh my gosh, 60, 70 hours a week. So the work is there. Again, you just have to understand what that work means. Once an offer is made, it takes probably about 2 weeks before you actually start your job. There's two things that happen before that, before you step into your position or your new hire orientation. We do a background check and we do drug tests. And then we also do what is called a fit for duty assessment. And I don't know if you remember, but that journey, when we first started the journey, the number one thing was safety is for life, okay? So what the fit for duty assessment is that depending on what position you're hired for, you'll go to a physical therapist office. They have the job, and they have what they call a functional task analysis, and they'll make sure that you can perform that job safely, bending, stretching, pulling, and lifting, because those are all requirements of the job. No surprises. We've never had anybody fail it, so it's not something that we make hard or strenuous. It's actually, they have a jackhammer in there. You're going to lift. You're going to do whatever your job requires you to do. Again, it's to make sure that you safely perform your job. Go to our website. Our positions are going to be listed there. Again, there's the little videos that tell you what it is, and then if you have any questions, you could reach out to me. I think my email address was on the beginning of the slides, but an easy one would be HR, Human Resources, at superiorpaving.net. We encourage everyone, females, males, those with experience, those with no experience, to apply and have a conversation with us.
Sue and Martha, please tell us what are the most rewarding things about working with your companies?
Okay, I'll go first. So I was excited. You can tell, I mean, most of the thing is what I want. The most rewarding thing about, I think, our company is the culture that's been established here. When I go out to visit the crews, I'm humbled each time to see what they're doing out in the field. I'm getting goosebumps right now. The work that they do out there is truly amazing. And again, you know, when you're shoveling asphalt or where you're rolling that, where you're moving that paver, the reward is never seeing the end product, because we help move Virginia. But the people that are in those positions, I think how much they care about what they do and how much they care about the company is very rewarding for me.
agree with Martha. And one thing to note, that Martha's company and our company work very closely together. We provide some of the product to make that asphalt, and our company is a values-based leadership company as well. Our values are important, and I agree with her, is seeing our employees align with the values and practice them. Overall, I love to see the finished product and to see what happens to it. So from a blast to that large rock that comes out of the ground, to moving along our process, to being stockpiled and then loaded onto these trucks, and then to drive on those roads that have been created from our product, or seeing the strip malls or bridges that have been built from the product that we mined. You know, somebody said to me once, if it's not grown in the world, if something isn't grown, it's mined. And it really made me think, like, it's a very important industry that I'm involved in. But we couldn't be successful without the great people that work for us. So that's it.
Thank you for that. And we have a question in the chat box I'll ask you both to answer to. Are driver's licenses required? I think maybe the question is, are they required to operate equipment, maybe off-road trucks or things of that nature?
I'll answer it quick, Martha, because yours is more lengthy probably. You do not have to have a valid driver's license to operate our equipment on our property. We do a background check, and we do check your DMV record. We want to make sure that you can operate a vehicle safely and that you do follow the rules of the road. A driving record could affect employment with us. And it also, one of our core values is integrity. So following the rules of the road is obviously important to us. But technically, you do not have to have a valid driver's license to operate our equipment on our sites.
That would be very similar to us. So obviously CDL positions require a driver's license. And if you're, depending on the position, if you're a foreman or assistant foreman that are issued company vehicles, you have to have a driver's license. For the others, we say it's not a job requirement. However, I will tell you, having a driver's license is a key success to getting to work on time.
And Christina, would you like to chime in? The question is a driver's license necessary?
Yes, and I apologize for the issues I was having. Driver's license with the company is not required. It can depend on the job site, though. There might be a job site where we know is an area that public transportation does not get to, and we will list it as a requirement on our postings. So even though it's not a company-wide requirement, it can be job specific to our projects.
Thank you. And are there any more questions from the participants? Thank you all so much for being here. If anyone would like to unmute and chime in, feel free. We have another question. So what are we looking for in a background check? Will a felony disqualify? Is a question we're being asked. I'm going to give it to Martha first.
Okay, so depending on the position, a felony may or may not disqualify you. There's a lot of things that we take into account when we're looking at a background check, right? Nobody's perfect. We are, I can tell you, a company of second chances. So it depends on what the situation is and the age of the felony. If this is something that happened 10 or 15 years ago, we're not going to even probably not consider it. If it's recent, you know, what were the circumstances that brought you to that position? Again, people make mistakes. We understand that. Nobody's perfect. We understand that. But, you know, we also do, when we do jobs, there are certain jobs that go on to school property that border like childcare facilities. So we do have to be aware of felonies that would pertain to like childcare in schools and stuff like that. But no, it's not necessarily a disqualifier, and I would encourage you to apply.
Same with that, it's an individual thing. It just depends. It's a conversation. We have a conversation about it. I would suggest to anybody, if there is a felony in the background, we do ask that question on your application and admit to it, because if you hide it, we will find it and then we will disqualify you for not being honest about it. But it's just a general conversation during our phone screen. And we also believe in second chances, and each thing is a situation, and we'll just talk to you about it.
Yeah, and kind of like to what Sue said, I just want to put, that was a very good point. The felony doesn't get you fired. The dishonesty gets you fired.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have similar thoughts about it. We do run a standard background check on all new hires after they've accepted the offer, and that goes for operations, every position, it doesn't matter. But we do have an HR person who reviews them, and there's been plenty of people who have second and third and fourth chances. And it's not what's on your, it's what's on your background, but don't feel like it's going to keep you from getting the job. We have plenty of people in construction who do have some sort of a background or another, and it's more what you've done with your time since, and you know, showing up and showing us what you can do. So it's definitely not a disqualifier on our end.
And there's no judgment on our sides. We just want to have a conversation and learn about the circumstances. We're not judging you in any way. It's just a conversation.
Another question in the chat box is, what are the wage ranges for various positions being offered? We kind of touched on that throughout the presentation, but any information that the three of you would like to share, please do.
Go ahead, Sue.
You know, we have ranges. The salary is at the discretion of the manager. I will discuss a range, generally starting salary for a haul truck operator with no experience. Depending on the site, it's either 17 or 18, even 19 an hour. It just really depends. That's real entry level, but there may be some other relevant skills in there. That's also for plant operator as well. It's really, it's at the discretion of the manager. Their budget, the time of the year it is. But I would say for either an entry-level haul truck, no experience, or entry-level plant operator, no experience, probably about 18. And there's a lot of overtime, and you get paid time and a half, though. And we generally work 45 to 50 hours a week.
Should I go? So not too differing from that. It depends on the position in the trade. If you're coming in green as a general laborer, you're probably looking at a 16 to 18 range, and then a skilled laborer with some sort of background in construction is more of the 18 to 20 range. Anything from there, if you already have experience in a certain trade, is going to go up depending on the trade and the amount of experience, and also on the project budget. So it can vary. For example, our Fredericksburg project might have a lesser of a budget than our Leesburg project, or vice versa. It just kind of varies. There is also prevailing wage jobs. So if you're on a prevailing wage job, usually the rate you get is a government set rate, so long as it's higher than our base rate. If our base rate trumps it, which with prevailing wage is not normally the case, then our wage is what you'll get. But with prevailing wage jobs, there are government set rates and incentives there for you as well.
Martha, would you like to chime in?
Sure. So our wages kind of follow, or it's somewhat in line with what you had posted. Our laborers, which is our crew, whether it's unskilled or skilled, start out at 16 and then kind of either take the left or right depending on the background that you bring, and whether it's skilled or unskilled. So they're pretty competitive. And I know that Christina had mentioned the prevailing wages, which is the for our certified payrolls, and 9 times, well, actually, I'm going to say 10 times out of 10, our wage is higher or at the prevailing wage rate.
Thank you. Thank you. We have another coming in. For project managers and higher positions, do you need college degrees first, or can you take courses while working through the company?
So with Wagman, it can vary depending on the salary position you're looking at. For example, an estimator would need to already have experience in the type of estimating we're doing. And usually a degree would be required in that case. But for example, engineers or superintendents, some of the other positions that we have, you can have an interest in already being in a different position and get trained into it. We have someone now who's a field diver and getting trained to be an engineer. So it can be a mix of both. It's not, you don't need a college degree for every salary or higher up position. It just depends on the type of position.
And that's the same for Superior. It depends on the position. I'll give you an example. One of our general managers, Mike Boyd, he started out as a laborer, moved up to a crew foreman, and now he is in charge of all of the crews. It doesn't have a college degree. Then we do have our engineering, our marketing. We use marketing reps, but they're really like project managers. And they are degreed, but it doesn't necessarily mean they had a degree in project management or in engineering. So it depends. We take a look at the whole person, just like a total comp, their background, their years of experience, and then what they could bring to the table.
Same with us. It really depends. We don't have a defined project manager role at our production level, but say for a supervisor or foreman, we have a foreman trainee program. I'd say it's half and half. Half are college students who have recent college grads with mining engineering degrees, mechanical engineering degrees, actually some business degrees, because running our plant is like running an individual business. So a business degree is very helpful. Or what we call our homegrown managers who started out in the field shoveling, welding, plant operating, or running heavy equipment. And a lot of people, because we do offer tuition assistance, as they're growing in the company, take classes and may get a degree through it. So I will say though, our foreman, you have to have 5 years experience in mining to apply for a foreman certification. So
along that note,
that experience can come from education.
Along that same note you just mentioned, Sue, with the homegrown supervisors, I think some of our best supervisors are the ones who started from the bottom and know the company inside and out. So there's something to be said for just going through the experience versus having the degree. Not that a degree is bad. We certainly encourage education and we do have tuition reimbursement, but there's value in both.
Thank you for answering that question. That was an excellent question, Chelsea. Thank you for that. I know within my family, I mentioned that that I have family members that have grown through the field as well. My brother started out as a laborer, grew into a heavy equipment operator, and then a foreman, and now he's an estimator as well, just from learning it all through the field. So, I think that type of process might vary from company to company and the type of work that they do. But you've heard all of you have heard so many examples of people that started at the bottom and worked their way up. So hopefully if you take anything away from this session today, that you will certainly take that hard work will go a long way in this field. Before we wrap up, are there any other questions from the participants? Yes, Rena? We cannot hear you. It says your microphone is on, but no sound.
Still can't hear you.
Could you type your question into the chat box?
Yeah, it's in the chat box. That's okay. We'll hang out for you. What I'll do at this point, Thomas, I'll conclude the recording. So for future listeners, thank you for listening. For everyone here, thank you. Hang tight. Just going to stop this.